Children, I hope you have gone through my previous video, and today we will continue further. Children, you know that roots absorb water and minerals for plants. Now the entire mechanism of absorbing water and minerals from soil and its movement upwards up to the leaves through the stem is result of five main phenomena. The first is imbibition, second diffusion, third osmosis, fourth active transport, and the fifth is turgidity and placidity. Today we will be studying about the first three phenomena, that is imbibition, diffusion and osmosis. Let's start with imbibition. What is imbibition? It is a phenomena by which living or dead plant cells absorb water by surface attraction. When they come in contact with water, they simply absorb water. Such substances which have a strong affinity for water, they are called as hydrophilic. And in plants have cellulose or proteins which are hydrophilic. So that is why they imbibe water or moisture, and when water gets filled in them, they swell up. Okay, like for example over here you can see seeds. They were soaked in water, and after some time the water present in this container went inside the seeds, and the size of the seeds has changed. They've become swollen up. Okay, now this, due to this imbibitional pressure, because the pressure inside becomes more, the seed coat ruptures in case of germinating seeds, and this is an important force for ascent of sap, plus it also helps the seed for germination. Next process is diffusion. Diffusion is the free movement of molecules of substance. That substance can be solute, solvent, gas or liquid from a region of their high concentration to the region of their lower concentration when they are in direct contact. We can demonstrate the process of diffusion by taking the example over here. We have taken a container having water, and in it we have taken potassium permanganate tablet. Now slowly see over here, the molecules of potassium permanganate, they were more concentrated at the bottom initially, but they started spreading upwards, and soon a state will come when the whole of the solution is homogeneously colored. So the molecules which were in more concentration at the bottom have travelled to the region of less concentration, and in this way, and the water molecules were in higher concentration up, and there was no water molecule in this tablet, but now the water molecule has moved from its higher concentration to lower concentration, and the potassium permanganate molecules also move from their higher concentration to lower concentration, and in the result we have a homogeneous solution. Okay, so this is the process of diffusion. Another example has been taken over here, in which a red color tablet and a blue color tablet is there. So the red one has been placed in hot water and the blue one has been placed in cold water. You can see that the red diffuses more compared to blue. So temperature has some impact on the process of diffusion. Okay, sometimes even stirring with a spoon hastens the process of diffusion, and we can get the diffusion. Like you must have observed, when you mix sugar in water, so if you just leave sugar in water, it will take lot of time for it to dissolve, but stirring with a spoon fastens the process. Now the next process is osmosis. Osmosis is quite similar to diffusion, but there are a few differences as well. Now see, in osmosis what happens, Osmosis is movement of water molecules from region of their high concentration to a region of their lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. 3 things to be noted down. You have to remember these 3 things. Any one of this is missing, you get a 0 in your answer. First is, it is the movement of only water molecule. The solute molecule does not move in osmosis. Secondly, in diffusion both were moving. Potassium permanganate was also moving and water was also moving, isn't it? Here in osmosis only water molecule will move. Second thing is, water molecule moves from its higher concentration to its lower concentration. Water concentration will be high where solute concentration is less, and it will be low where solute concentration is high. Remember this, don't get confused. Concentration of, a solution is made up of solute plus solvent. Water is a solvent. If concentration of solute is high, solvent will be less and the solution will be high concentration solution. If concentration of solute is low, concentration of solvent will be more, and such a solution will be a dilute solution or a solution of low concentration. So water always moves from a place where concentration of water is high to a place where concentration of water is low, and only the water molecule moves. That means movement is, if you took in terms of solution, water molecule is moving from a dilute solution to a concentrated solution, but it is moving from a place where concentration of water is high and to a place where concentration of water is low. And of course there has to be the third most important thing, that this movement is through a selectively permeable or a semi-permeable membrane. Semi-permeable membrane allows water molecules to pass through it but does not allow the solute molecules to pass. Is it clear? So this is about osmosis. Osmosis can be explained by taking an experiment. In this experiment over here, this is the very famous thistle funnel experiment. What we have done is, we have taken a beaker filled with plain water, and we've taken a thistle funnel filled with sugar solution, and the mouth of the thistle funnel has been covered by a cellophane paper. Now cellophane is semi-permeable. Now an inverted the thistle funnel is inverted in a beaker containing water, and the initial level of the thistle funnel is noted. After certain time period, you will observe that the level of solution in thistle funnel rises. Why? Because in the beaker there was 100% pure water, there was no sugar, and in the thistle funnel the concentration of water was less. So water molecule from beaker moved into the thistle funnel through semi-permeable membrane of cellophane paper, and the level of water in the thistle funnel rose. If you taste the water in the beaker, you will find it is not at all sweet. So this proves that the solute particles, that is the sugar molecules, were not allowed to come into the beaker through the semi-permeable membrane. Okay, you can take a control experiment for this. We always check our experiments by taking control experiment. In control experiment, what is done in the in this setup, in the thistle funnel also, instead of taking sugar solution, you can take pure water, and then you will see that in the same time duration, in this setup the level of water in thistle funnel will rise, but in the other control setup, where in the thistle funnel water was present, the water level will not rise. Why? Because the concentration outside and inside the thistle funnel was same, so there was no movement of water molecules. Water molecules will only move if there is higher and lower concentration gradient. In case of cellophane membrane, if you use a rubber sheet, what will happen? rubber sheet is impermeable, does not allow anything to pass through, so there will be no change. If you use a muslin cloth has got holes which are freely permeable. They'll allow the solute as well as solvent to pass through, so all the water will come in from the thistle funnel into the beaker, and we'll have a same level in beaker as well as in funnel, so the experiment will not work. But if you take a whisking bag is made up of animal skin, and again it is semi permeable, so again after certain period you will find there is a rise in the level of water in thistle funnel. Now in this same experiment, if we make a change, see over here in the same experiment, thistle funnel experiment, what we have done, we have in the thistle funnel we have taken sugar solution. Inside the beaker there is water, but over here on the thistle funnel we have put some weight. See over here, we have added some weight. Now this weight, what it is doing, it is not allowing the water. You will find that there will be no rise in the water level. Solution will not rise in the thistle funnel. Why? Because it is that extra weight of pressure which is less than the pressure with which the water is coming up. So this is called as osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure is the minimum pressure that must be exerted, the minimum weight that should be put over here to prevent osmosis from taking place. That is called as osmotic pressure. Minimum pressure that must be exerted to prevent passage of pure solvent into solution when two are separated by a semi-permeable membrane. That is called as osmotic pressure. In this experiment, in the previous experiment over here, the one which we had done earlier, in this, sometimes in the exams the questions are asked, instead of taking water and sugar solution, what they do, they take 50% sugar solution and 30% sugar solution. Instead of water, they will take 30% sugar solution in the beaker and 50% sugar solution in thistle funnel. Now what is the meaning of this? See, 30% sugar solution means 30% solute, 70% water, solvent, water, alright. And 50% sugar solution means 50% of sugar and 50% of water. So again, if in the thistle funnel it is 50% and in the beaker it is 30%, water from the beaker will rise into the thistle funnel. Alright, but if it is the opposite, if the thistle funnel contains 30% sugar solution and beaker contains 50% sugar solution, what will happen? From the thistle, the level of water in the thistle funnel will fall. From thistle funnel, water will go into the beaker. Is it clear? So these type of changes can be done and questions can be asked. Be very careful and remember one thing, that the concentration of solution is actually the concentration of the solute, not the solvent. And in osmosis, we are looking for concentration of solvent. Solvent is moving from its high concentration to low concentration. Do not get confused in that. Now, next is there is a term, that is tonicity. What is tonicity? You know, concentration is always studied in relation to solutions. Concentration of one solution with respect to concentration of other solution. That is called as tonicity. Relative concentration of solution that determines the direction and extent of diffusion is called tonicity. And based on tonicity, there are three types of solutions: isotonic, hypotonic and hypertonic. Isotonic is where the concentration is same on both the sides. Like here we have taken an example, we have taken a cell in a beaker containing solution. Now in the first one there is 9 grams of salt in 1 liter of solution, and we have taken a cell in it. So the concentration inside the cell and the concentration in the beaker is the same. So there is no movement of water. No osmosis will take place. Such a solution is called as isotonic solution. In the second one, we have taken pure water and we have immersed the cell in it. Now cell has certain salts in it. So obviously the pure water in the beaker, that is having more high concentration of water, and cell is having low concentration. So water will move inside the cell. Okay, that is the hypotonic solution. So the cell will swell up or bulge. The third condition is, instead of 9 grams, 15 grams of salt in 1 liter of solution, or 18 grams of salt in 1 liter of solution. So obviously here the solute concentration has increased, water concentration has become less, and inside the cell the concentration is the same. So what will happen now? This type of solution which has more concentration, it is called as hypertonic. Now water from the cell will move into the beaker. As a result, the cell will shrink. So these are the conditions of if a cell is placed in a isotonic, it remains in same shape. If it is placed in hypotonic, it swells up. And if it is placed in hypertonic, it becomes shrunken. The same thing is shown over here with two cells. One is an animal cell, other is a plant cell. If they are placed in isotonic solution, animal cell as well as plant cell, they remain in the same shape as they are. When placed in hypotonic solution, animal cell becomes swollen, size becomes bigger. Plant cell, because they are surrounded by an impermeable and a fixed or rigid cell wall, the size does not change, but inside the plant cell the turgidity becomes, they become hard. The water, because water goes inside and then it makes the inner contents hard, so the cell becomes turgid. If you place it in a hypertonic or a high concentration solution, then in the animal cell, because the concentration inside is more of water, inside the cell is more and outside is less, water will move out from the cell. As a result, the cell becomes shriveled or shrunken. In plant cell also, although the size of the cell remains the same, but the protoplasm of the cell becomes shriveled or shrunken. So such a cell is called as plasmolysed cell. Alright, so this is about tonicity. Three types of solutions: hypotonic, hypertonic and isotonic, and they are responsible for the behavior, like whether a cell will become turgid or it will become flaccid, whether plasmolysis will take place. All that we will take up in our next video.